How's it going, everybody? Welcome back. It's time for some more wrestling chat right here on CM42 TV. So thank you so much for joining us on this Tuesday. It is March the 10th, 2020. And, the 10th of March, nearly halfway through March already. WrestleMania is less than 4 weeks away, which is crazy. The fact that it's coming in so soon always gets me around this time. You always get from this point onward to like the first week in April. You're just all wrestled out. But you know what? Usually I'm like really on top of like watching old WrestleManias and getting into the spirit very early and watching some Hall of Fame speeches and that sort of thing. This year, not really up for it. I don't know why. Maybe it's just because there's more wrestling to watch on a daily basis now or a weekly basis. Maybe that's going to be enough for this time. But I usually end up watching not like old WrestleManias as a whole, but I'll watch like big moments and big matches and my favourite matches from WrestleMania, that sort of thing as we lead up to the big show. This year, don't know. Obviously, we've got less than 4 weeks to go, but I'm sure in the last fortnight, up until WrestleMania 36, I'll watch some classics and just kind of get into that sort of mindset of it being WrestleMania. I feel like we shouldn't take it for granted, especially in sort of the direction we're going in. So it's a very exciting time. It always is. In terms of the build for WrestleMania, I feel like there's still lots to go. But realistically, we've only got 4 more Raws or 3 more Raws until WrestleMania, and we've got 4 more SmackDowns. And there's no more pay-per-views and all that sort of stuff, which makes me think, they're going to cram a lot in, and there's still lots to do. That being said, in any other year, I would think that if they're not excited by now, if they're not packing in as much as they physically can by now, that we're in trouble and it's going to be a really messy WrestleMania. But I don't think that at all. I think the stories that we've got going into this year's WrestleMania, because a lot of them aren't official yet in terms of Randy Orton and Edge and AJ Styles and The Undertaker and Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins. These 3 matches that are very, very likely to happen at WrestleMania aren't really officially happening yet. There's no SmackDown Women's title match. There's no tag title matches yet, things like that, ones that will come around. We're just kind of waiting for that time to happen and for the contracts to be signed, for them to be announced on social media. And of course, within the next 4 weeks or so, that's going to happen. But because there's still lots of storytelling to be done on those matches, we're kind of forgetting about the ones that already have been told. And you think about it, like the stories going in are pretty good. Like they're all going to, being booked very well. There's potential for the stories to play out very well as well. The only one that's not really, that's not really made the most sense and has not really like been right in your face, and the one that everyone's kind of more excited for isn't Roman Reigns versus Goldberg. And my question for this video and this week, for all of you people out there who are watching this video, is a question to you. I want to know your thoughts. Leave a comment to this video if you're watching. Let me know what you think should be the main event of WrestleMania 36. And I always get so wrapped up in terms of the placement of the matches. What should be the opener? What should lead into this match? Should there be a big segment, and a big like sort of promo package? Not even a package, just a promo of someone either backstage or in the ring, like a host of WrestleMania like they've done the past few years, that sort of thing. And then what should be the main event? And last year they kind of got it right. Having the women's triple threat match being the main event, that was the rightful main event because it was the one everybody was talking about. It was the one that most people wanted to see. And I think it was good publicity and that sort of thing. This year, it's really hard to say. What is the one match that everybody's looking forward to the most, or at least the majority of the audience is looking forward to the most? For me, I guess it should be the rightful main event. The one I'm looking forward to the most is Brock Lesnar versus Drew McIntyre. That should be the main event. Arguably should be, because Brock Lesnar's the champion and Drew McIntyre won the Royal Rumble. It makes the most sense. But as we've learned, sense doesn't really come into it sometimes. It's one of those ones where it's like, let's just see what it's going to be. A lot of people are talking about Randy Orton versus Edge being the main event, and you know what? It's the best story. It's the best story that's going on right now, and maybe in wrestling, other than maybe the whole dissension and the elite between Hangman Page, Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, that sort of thing. That's a great story going on over in AEW. But in terms of WWE and the book towards WrestleMania, I think in terms of me and what I'm interested in the most week to week, those two, Drew and Lesnar, and Orton and Edge, they're my 2 ones that I'm kind of most intrigued by. And I'd probably say the Orton and Edge storyline is kind of making more sense, not necessarily making more sense, just being more gripping and more interesting and more unpredictable. And the fact that Randy Orton took out Edge to save him because he loves him, and then he took out one of his pals, then he took out his wife, and then he's refusing to speak, and then Edge comes back last night sets an example, gets his revenge, RKO's Randy Orton, and even just a bit, MVPs in the ring, and I think they're using MVP very well right now. He doesn't need to be this big, wrestling character. He's getting older now. He was never the greatest in the ring, but he always could hold a good match, that sort of thing. But he's great at promos. He's great at building people up. He's a good heel on the mic. They should use that. And if they're having that VIP lounge kind of gig, and they're doing that every single week on Raw, it could be a good way to kind of progress stories like we saw last night on Raw. I think it was really, really good because Edge comes out not even regarding the fact the MVP's in the ring until he mentioned Beth Phoenix. And then whilst that was happening, Randy Orton came in from behind and attacked him, and it was that one split moment where literally Randy Orton came out of nowhere and you're sitting there going, oh my god, what's going to happen? And it was that sort of unpredictability. Was he going to take out Edge again in that split second? You are so hooked, and that's kind of all you need. You need those wee moments that get you in the door, that get you hooked and get you excited for a certain match or a certain story. And they've done it so well. The fact that it is Edge's return, and I've already sent the tweet. If you're watching this video, and I need you to do me a big favour here, get on your Twitter machine at WWE, dear at WWE. Please can we get Alter Bridge to perform Metalingus, Edge's theme song, and play Edge to the ring live at WrestleMania 36. Please and thank you. Regards, every wrestling fan in the world. I signed it Christopher because that's my Sunday name. I think that if we can get Alter Bridge to perform at WrestleMania in any way, shape or form, I will just be so happy. I'll make more noise than I did when he actually did return, because it's one of my favourite songs of all time. Alter Bridge are my favourite band in the world. If they were to play Edge, one of my favourite wrestlers ever, one of my favourite songs at WrestleMania, would be literally, as a wrestling fan, in terms of my fandom, a wrestling dream come true. To see that, so... we've had Rollin' by Limp Bizkit, we've had Voices by Rev Theory, we've had Cult of Personality by Living Colour, all these great ones. We need to get Alter Bridge. We need Mark Tremonti on the fucking WrestleMania stage. My god, that'd be amazing. Anyway, what's going to main event WrestleMania? So the one that's most likely going to main event WrestleMania is Goldberg and Reigns. I mean, realistically, that's probably going to main event WrestleMania. But should it though, we were all talking about it's going to be The Fiend and Roman Reigns. That's going to be the match, and I kind of spoke about it. I don't know if it was last week or the week before on the wrestling chat here on CM42 TV. But the whole thing, that was the plan that was going to go forward, and then they've just kind of switched the plans. Now it's Goldberg versus Roman Reigns, and John Cena's going to wrestle The Fiend. I think the Fiend and John Cena match is very interesting. I think John Cena's going to just light him up in some of these promos, and Bray Wyatt is going to have the whole sort of The Fiend never forgets thing, because of what happened at WrestleMania 30, and it's going to, which was 6 years ago, utterly bonkers, which is going to set up all these great flashback angles and that sort of thing to get revenge on John Cena. And at those moments in the match when it looks very obvious that John Cena's going to win, people are going to be raging. Bray's going to kick out. He'll probably get his revenge. God, I hope so, and he will finally beat John Cena in a main event sort of level. He lost that feud. It didn't do very many favours, although it did kind of make him seem like a main event guy, and it always prolonged his popularity. But now the fact we're getting The Fiend versus John Cena at WrestleMania again is very exciting, and I think that it's the roles have totally reversed, and there's a whole new story, and there's more wealth to it. I think that's going to be great. Will it main event? No, but it's going to be a good match as well. So then you got Reigns now versus Goldberg, which is a mega match. Makes more sense for WrestleMania than anything else. We can do The Fiend versus Roman throughout the entire year. Doesn't need to be at WrestleMania. The Fiend and Goldberg has got a lot of intrigue behind it, and the spear versus the spear thing, big box office attraction. I'm not confused, and I'm not upset by the fact that's the match at all. I'm very understanding of the fact that that's going to be a WrestleMania spectacle. And I'm a big Roman Reigns fan. I think he's one of the best in the whole company, and I think in terms of as a performer, he's one of the best in the business. So putting him over, I don't like using these inside phrases, but putting him over and having him beat Goldberg is a really big deal. So I think it's just going to add another thing to the CV and gives him the title again. And he's going to be great as the champion. He always has been when he has had the title, but for some reason his title reigns have always been shorter than maybe expected. So that's exciting anyway. So I'm looking forward to checking that out. Although I don't think it should be the main event, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what happens, and that will be the main event most likely. In terms of the women's matches this year, Becky Lynch and Shayna Baszler is a massive match. I said this again on one of the episodes of the wrestling chat. Becky Lynch and Shayna Baszler is a big match to me. A sort of die-hard who watches everything wrestling fan who knows Shayna Baszler and has seen her undefeated streak and has seen her history and knows she's a big player. I guess it's a bit better now, the fact that she bit Becky Lynch in the neck like a vampire and eliminated everybody in the Elimination Chamber, which, by the way, we didn't talk about it. Really good show, I thought. I thought Drew Gulak and Daniel Bryan was a great match, and I even thought Humberto versus Andrade was a great match, which leads me to think there's going to be a bit of a fatal four-way or something at WrestleMania for the US title. Andrade, Humberto, Angel Garza, Rey Mysterio. Yes to that, please. And unless you want to do like a ladder match or something, I don't think it needs to be that. You know, it's going to take them double the time to get the ladders involved, to climb the ladders and all that sort of stuff. Let's just have a fast-paced, over-the-top, massive fatal four-way and have, you know, Andrade win or Humberto win or Rey Mysterio win. A big sort of moment like that for someone, I think that's going to be really good. So yeah, Shayna Baszler and Becky Lynch is a massive match for me. So is Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair. But in terms of your neutral, kind of casual wrestling WWE fans, who are literally, you know, don't watch every week and are just tuning in because it's WrestleMania. You know, they don't know Shayna Baszler as well. They don't know Rhea Ripley as well. How they're going to try and... They've got a couple of weeks left to kind of make them even bigger stars than they already are. I thought the promo sort of package we had with Rhea Ripley on Raw last night, when we were kind of talking about, you know, the history behind it, and when she first arrived in WWE, everybody told her to change her look because she looks like Charlotte. What a fun aspect to the story, do you know what I mean? So there's a lot of, you know, aspects of that story and a lot of things that can go into that, and it will make it a bigger match. But in terms of it being a sort of attraction, it's not the biggest type of match. I think it's going to be a lot like the Charlotte and Asuka match from WrestleMania 34, which I think actually won my match of the year for WWE in 2018. So if we can get anything like that, I'll be very happy. I'm sure both will be very good matches. In terms of the SmackDown Women's title match, I was expecting a Sasha Banks face turn or a Bayley face turn and have Sasha versus Bayley for the title, but obviously that's not going to happen. It's looking like a big six-pack challenge or something. Throw in Carmella, throw in Naomi, throw in Dana Brooke, and who could be the fourth? We need another person who's on SmackDown, who I've not mentioned yet, a diva, I just said diva. I've just watched that feckin' Ruthless Aggression thing, and they're talking about the divas. That's why it's in my head. They're not divas anymore. Whoever, you know what I mean? That's frustrating that I can't think of someone else who's a female superstar on SmackDown. That's how bad. Lacey Evans, there you go. That's how bad the division is right now. Or as weak as the division is right now. Lacey Evans is one. So that could be a six-pack challenge for WrestleMania for the SmackDown Women's Championship, not the Divas Championship. And then other matches that are going to get put on there, like Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins. You know, going to be a great match, but it's going to be like your workhorse match of WrestleMania. You know, I don't know if it's going to be like the opening match or the second match or something. It was a bit like Randy Orton and AJ Styles last year, or the triple threat for the Intercontinental title at 34, or Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho at 33. That's just off the top of my head. Like that sort of core match that's going to be week to week. You know, it's going to be that one for this year. And then what other ones do we have? Taker and AJ. Weird, you know, a weird story behind this one. And then AJ's promo on Raw was strange, talking about Michelle McCool, and he called him Mark Calloway. Has that ever happened? Has another wrestler called The Undertaker Mark Calloway on Raw? It's mental. So that's what we can do now. You know, we can do that in 2020. You know, we can say real names and we can get people's wives involved. It's weird. I'm assuming we're going to get some Michelle McCool involvement here. Is she going to like slap AJ next week or something? I don't know. Are we going to get American Badass Taker? We say it every year. This could be the year. He said you're like a broken down old man. Taker comes out on the bike. Keep rolling. Would be brilliant. And I think Taker is going to beat AJ. It's pretty obvious, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. I said this last week. I always repeat myself in these videos, but I'm trying to get the point across. It's not that important for AJ to win this match. It's actually going to better him, not only to put Taker over, but also to show he can hang with Taker, but also because he has this main level match at WrestleMania. You know, AJ Styles in the ring with The Undertaker at WrestleMania is already a big deal. It helped CM Punk, it helped Brock Lesnar, it helped Roman Reigns, it helped Bray Wyatt, it helped Shane McMahon, you know, to have these moments, you know, so really exciting to see AJ Styles, a match that you never ever thought could possibly be possible. So that's going to be very exciting for that one. The other one was Orton and Edge we talked about, and then that's pretty much it in terms of the other matches. Intercontinental title wise, I would love a ladder match. I doubt it's going to happen because we have a big ladder match for the Women's Championship or the number one contendership for the Women's Championship at TakeOver 2 nights before or a night before. You know, NXT TakeOver, I think it's like for the number one contendership for the NXT Women's Championship, because the title is obviously getting defended at WrestleMania and not TakeOver. So I don't know if we'll do another big ladder match for the SmackDown Intercontinental title on WrestleMania. If they did though, who could we have? Cesaro, Shinsuke, Sami Zayn, Braun Strowman, Elias, and Shorty G. There you go. What's Aleister Black going to do? What's Ricochet going to do? It's most likely going to be a wee Royal Rumble, a Battle Royal. What I was going to say as well, after watching Elimination Chamber, I would not be against the idea of having AJ Styles and the OC versus The Undertaker and Aleister Black in a 3-on-2 handicap match. Think about what that could do for Aleister Black and the OC, and give Taker leeway, you know. I think that was a missed opportunity there. It's not as big of a match, obviously, instead of having the singles match, but having Aleister Black in there puts him over massive. I'm surprised that's not the match, actually, because, you know, how well that tag match went last year. I think it was Extreme Rules, when it was Roman and Taker versus Drew and Shane McMahon. Like, it was brilliant. Taker looked brilliant. The story progressed so well. Drew looked like a megastar. You know, like part of the reason they ended up going to win the Royal Rumble, that sort of thing. It's part of the whole story. So, yeah, tag title wise, it's probably not going to be anything. You know, probably both teams who are champions are going to be in the Battle Royals unless you get a pre-show match. Cruiserweight title, there's no way there's going to be a title match on that. NXT title was rumoured, doubt it will happen. That's for TakeOver. But if it was going to happen, it will be a kickoff match. But yeah, main event will be Goldberg versus Reigns. But what should be the main event, I think it should be Drew and Lesnar, because the Royal Rumble winner should be the main event. And arguably, it's probably the match that people are kind of most excited to see and getting the most buzz, along with Orton and Edge. A lot of people think that's going to main event. I wouldn't be against that. I don't think it will, though. It's going to be a bit like Triple H and Batista last year, like placed right in the middle of the card, and it's going to take up about half an hour, and then the match after is going to be dead because you're going to have to follow this big return moment. It's most likely going to be like unsanctioned or no holds barred or falls count anywhere or something like that. So that's going to be a big sort of spectacle match. It's going to be great to see Edge in there. And please remember, Wrestling Twitter, get on there. First of all, go to me at CM42TV, give me a follow, and then retweet my tweet about Alter Bridge, and then make one yourself. Get the message, tag Alter Bridge, tag Miles Kennedy, tag Mark Tremonti, Brian Marshall, Scott Phillips, get them all tagged. Dear WWE, can we please have Alter Bridge to perform Metalingus at WrestleMania to play Edge to the ring? Please. There we go. Thanks for watching, everybody. Let me know in the comments your thoughts. What do you think should main event this year's WrestleMania? Let me know which matches you're looking forward to the most. And tune in next time for some more wrestling chat next week here on CM42 TV. And of course the rest of the week for new videos every single day right here on the channel. Thanks very much. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time.